Moms are funny. Not when they're in the car, though. Dads and moms in the car. That's weird. On the family vacation. Remember that? Mom and Dad would come in and say, "Come on, kids, we're going on vacation." In the car. And then they would say, "It's gonna be fun." I mean, sure, it's fun for mom and dad because mom and dad are in the front seat, right? And you're in the back seat with your brothers and sisters having the never-ending slap fight. Remember that? Remember slap fights that would last like 2 or 3 states, you know, and then you get tired. And then do you also remember this one? Remember the territories we had? Remember our lines, you know? My line of death, my line of death, my line of death, you know? And you had your little section mapped out. And if you were the youngest brother or sister, you had to sit in a little ashtray in the door, you know? It's kind of like, you could barely get all the way up there, you know, but that was your line. Then your older brothers and sisters would mess with your territory. You know, they'd lean over and say things like, "I'm breathing your air." And we'd buy it, we'd believe it, and we'd yell into the front seat, "Mommy's breathing my air."
How in the world does comedy and rock and roll music go together?
It works real well. It loosens the crowd up. It lets them know that it's okay to have fun. When they come in, you know, it's like, can we stand up? Can we clap? Can we dance around? Can we have fun? And I just kind of set the mood like, if you don't have fun, you're dead. So
good. Tell us a little bit about your history. You haven't always been in Christian comedy. How did you get involved in it, and what happened before that?
I did the nightclub scene for a while, and then I became a Christian, which kind of ruined everything for me. And because I thought, oh, you know, well, now I'm going to be a Christian. And I really thought that. I felt that in order to be a Christian, you had to be miserable. And if you weren't miserable, you weren't right with God. And so I quit comedy. I went back to school and was miserable. And I was going to be a school teacher. Me, a school teacher. And parents out there going, thank God for the career change. But I was going to do that. And I was miserable. I was absolutely miserable. And my Sunday school teacher came up to me. A silver-haired lady said, "You're in the wrong place. You're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, and God has given you a gift." And she didn't even know I was a comic before. She just came up and said that to me. So I waited for a year. I waited for an absolute, total year for somebody to hire me as a comedian. I thought, well, you know, now God, I'm open and I'm available to be used by you. And for a year I couldn't find work. Nobody would book me. Nobody wanted anything to do with me. And I ended up working in a flower shop cleaning bathrooms. Leave me alone. I've got my brush here. Leave me alone. And when I started admitting it, yeah, God's teaching me how to be humble and to be putty in his hands. That's when things started happening for me.
But it's a pretty funny scene, you know. Dad's driving and swatting and mom's pinching and toys are flying and kids are flying. And then a truck driver would go by and we'd all stop and do the same stupid thing together. Remember this? God bless you guys. Good night.